welcome to this deep dive. If you're out on the road, maybe planning your next move, you know the trucking industry feels like it's being pulled in a dozen directions at once.
Absolutely. You've got these huge forces colliding new tech, big logistics plays, rail making strategic moves, and then these really fundamental fights over safety and environmental rules.
Yeah, it feels like every headline is either promising some massive efficiency gain or, honestly, just making a driver's life harder.
And that tension, that's exactly what we need to unpack today. Our goal here is to kind of sift through these different news items, connect the dots, and see the whole picture.
Right, moving past the press releases.
Exactly. We want to get to what these changes actually mean for you listening. How does it impact your schedule, your health, your actual long-term plan in this industry?
And looking at it from all angles is key, something life as a trucker has stressed for years. We have to see how these big decisions, made way up high, end up, hitting you right at the front bumper. We've got consolidation moves, rail strategies affecting your lanes, parking issues, safety concerns. It all connects. So, okay, let's dig in.
Let's do it.
First up, a big one from a major logistics player, C.H. Robinson. They've just launched a significant cross-border, less-than-truckload service.
LTL, right, between the U.S. and Mexico.
Yeah, and the logic is pretty straightforward. They see too many trucks crossing that border half full or even empty. That's just wasted space, wasted fuel.
So it's an efficiency play, pure and simple.
Pretty much. They consolidate smaller shipments going the same way into fewer, fuller trucks. Benefits, fewer trips, less fuel burned, hopefully less chaos at the border crossings.
Saves shippers money too, I imagine.
Definitely. Especially smaller businesses that don't have full truckloads. And of course, they get to say they're cutting emissions, which is always good PR.
Okay, sounds good on paper for CHR and the shipper. But LTL, it's always more complex for the carrier than just a straight point-to-point truckload, isn't it?
That's the crux of it. For a small carrier, maybe they see this as consistent freight, potentially higher paying per mile, because it is more complex. So why not take it?
But where's the catch for the owner-operator specifically? Is it the waiting time?
It's the waiting, it's the split stops, it's the potential for more handling, more risk of damage. It all comes down to control and fair compensation.
Right, if you're spending hours at multiple docks.
Exactly. If the broker isn't paying fairly for that detention time or for the extra work involved in managing multiple pickups and drops, then all that efficiency CHR creates, it's purely for them.
And the driver's basically eating the cost of that complexity.
You got it. The driver absorbs it.
And there's another layer here, isn't there? The data.
Oh, yeah. This move gives C.H. Robinson this massive, almost hidden data advantage. They now know exactly which shippers need these cross-border LTL services.
And
Crucially, they get data on which carriers are flexible, who's efficient, maybe who's desperate enough to take lower rates for complex loads.
so it's not just about filling trucks now. It's intelligence for future negotiations.
It's absolutely leverage. Knowing how low they can push those rates before a carrier has to say no, it turns your flexibility into their bargaining chip.
Okay, so C.H. Robinson is consolidating freight on the roads. What about moves to pull freight off the roads? This is where it gets really interesting with the railroads.
Yes, a major strategic development here. You've got CSX and CN Rail, two giants teaming up.
What are they doing?
They're launching a new intermodal service. Picture this. It connects Canada's west coast, Vancouver, directly down to the U.S. southeast, hitting Nashville via Memphis.
Wow, that's a long haul they're targeting, cutting straight through the middle of the country.
Precisely. The stated goal is to reduce long-haul truck traffic, speed up container delivery. It's a calculated chess move.
Time for when trucking rates are maybe a bit soft.
You have to assume that's part of the strategy. Is rail using its scale to kind of flank the trucking industry?
So what's the impact for drivers? Mixed bag, I guess.
Definitely mixed. On the one hand, potentially less overall congestion on major cross-country routes if containers shift to rail. That's good, right?
Yeah, less traffic is always welcome.
And it could create more short-haul work drayage around those big hubs like Memphis and Nashville, moving containers between the rail yard and the final destination.
Let's just clarify drayage quickly. Those are the short, essential moves in and out of the rail terminals.
Exactly. Specialized, often time-sensitive runs, critical part of the chain.
But the flip side, the risk.
The risk is pretty clear for long haulers who specialize in those cross-country container movements. If big shippers, your big box retailers, find the rail option cheaper or faster,
They'll switch.
they'll absolutely switch. That means potentially less volume available for trucks on those lanes, more competition for the freight that's left, potentially pushing rates down further.
Adaptation is key, but it's tough when margins are already tight. How does a long hauler even know if this is starting to bite into their business? What's the first sign?
It's subtle. You need to watch for changes in your regular business. Are your usual high-volume clients booking fewer runs? Are brokers for those specific long-haul container lanes suddenly harder to find or offering lower rates?
So it's not like a sudden shock, more like a slow leak.
Probably. A gradual erosion you need to be monitoring constantly.
Okay, that covers the big logistics and efficiency plays. But there are other pressures, maybe even more immediate ones, like safety. We saw that protest in Montreal recently.
Yeah, the slow roll protest. And what was really striking, as you said, it wasn't primarily about pay or hours of service.
No, it was about basic safety, right?
Yeah.
Driver training and truck maintenance.
Exactly. It felt like a massive warning flare from veteran drivers that they're seeing dangerous situations caused by, let's say, underprepared new drivers.
Drivers may be rushed through inadequate CDL schools.
That's the accusation. Schools prioritizing getting bodies and seats over actual competence. But it wasn't just training. They were calling out companies for cutting corners on maintenance, too.
Things like warm brakes, bad tires, air leaks.
The fundamentals. Really serious stuff. It highlights this deep problem across the industry, crossing borders. Is safety being compromised for cheaper labor and saving a few bucks on upkeep?
It's a call for accountability, for higher standards for both drivers and the fleets operating the equipment.
Definitely. And speaking of sacrificing safety, or maybe community health for what some call progress, let's look at California.
The eminent domain case in Fresno with the high-speed rail project.
Right. The state basically forced a trucking firm to relocate to make way for the rail line.
And the place they relocated them to.
Yeah.
It wasn't exactly ideal, was it?
Far from it. They moved the trucking operation into an area already dealing with significant pollution, bad air quality, high asthma rates, an area the EPA itself flagged as an environmental justice concern.
That's incredibly troubling.
It's a stark example, and it has implications for any driver or company based near a city. It shows how easily government projects can displace businesses and shift environmental burdens onto communities that often have less power to fight back.
So progress for one area dumps pollution onto another, often without much public input or real plans to fix it.
That's the reality in this case. It raises questions about how these big infrastructure decisions are made and who pays the real price.
We're also seeing movement at the federal level, with a new leader confirmed for the Federal Highway Administration, the FHWA.
Yes, and the industry reaction was sort of polite applause mixed with a very clear warning.
Basically, okay, welcome aboard, now don't mess this up.
Pretty much, because drivers have heard promises before, especially on key issues.
Like truck parking.
Truck parking is the poster child, isn't it? Every new FHWA head talks about it. But what do drivers see? More studies, endless planning, but not enough actual pavement being laid.
So the ask is for focus on tangible results, not just policy papers.
Absolutely. Drivers need real action on safe parking, actual construction projects getting funded and built. And they need better management of construction zones to stop wasting precious driving hours and reduce risks.
It's about understanding the reality of being out there, hundreds of miles from home, with nowhere safe or legal to stop.
That's it. They need someone who gets that reality, gets how it impacts hours of service, safety, everything. A partner, not just another bureaucrat.
Okay, so pulling these threads together. We see logistics giants consolidating freight, rail consolidating lanes, safety pressures, regulatory impacts.
Yeah.
The common theme feels like constant change and uncertainty.
It really is. And if everything external is shifting, the only thing you, the driver, can truly consolidate and control is your own situation, your own future.
Which brings us to the driver's countermove, right? Taking control back.
That has to be the focus. Building your own financial stability, a shield against these market swings and economic dips. It means managing your time, especially your off-duty time for yourself, not just for the shipper or the broker.
How does that look in practice?
It means using that downtime proactively, learning new skills, maybe exploring ways to build additional income streams, things that generate money month after month separate from the truck.
So creating a safety net.
Exactly. A safety net that protects you if freight rates tank, or if your company folds, or if regulations change dramatically. It's about planning an exit route, eventually, but on your terms.
And technology plays a role here too. You mentioned AI.
Yeah, even learning basic AI tools can help with planning, financial management, maybe finding new opportunities. It's about using every available tool to secure your future, maybe looking towards retirement planning like retirefromtrucking.com focuses on.
Speaking of future tech and planning, let's touch on Pilot's push for B99 biodiesel.
Right, 99% biodiesel.
Yeah.
Pilot is promoting it heavily, claiming up to a 74% reduction in carbon emissions. Sounds great for meeting environmental goals.
That's like an easy win, maybe?
Well, it's a win for Pilot's image and for meeting mandates, for sure. But drivers, especially owner-operators, need to be cautious.
Why is that? Compatibility issues.
It's technically compatible with most newer engines, but there are practical considerations. Could it potentially affect warranties? Will it mean changing fuel filters more often? How does it perform in really cold weather?
Ah, so the potential downsides, incorrect maintenance, downtime, operational limits, those costs could fall directly on the owner-operator.
Precisely. That 74% carbon reduction might look good on paper, but if it costs you more in maintenance and lost time, it's coming out of your pocket.
So the smart takeaway isn't just, oh, cleaner fuel. It's more like a heads up.
It's a signal. It's another sign that green mandates are coming, and you need to start planning now. How will you adapt? What equipment choices make sense long-term to maintain profitability while meeting these future requirements?
It really does circle back to taking control. We've seen the big players consolidate freight and lanes. The takeaway for you listening has to be about consolidating your own financial footing.
Absolutely. The industry is always going to shift. Sometimes it's driven by efficiency. Sometimes, let's be honest, it feels like exploitation. The ultimate act of resistance, the path to actually feeling respected and supported, is building that plan B, that financial independence that isn't totally reliant on the ups and downs of the freight market.
Well, thank you for joining us for this deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground, from logistics chess moves to the critical need for drivers to strategize for their own futures.
Yeah, the future isn't just about grabbing the next load or toughing out a recession. It's really about owning your own lane by actively preparing that exit strategy whenever you choose to take it. So the question to leave you with is, what knowledge, what skill are you going to pick up during your next break, your next bit of downtime that starts putting you firmly back in control?